Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we will continue reading Namacharya, the life of Srila Haridasa Thakur by His Grace Rupa Vilasa Das. And we are on chapter 8 right now. Just starting chapter 8 here. Glorious revelations and departure. Relieving Lord Chaitanya's anxiety. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Sri Haridasa Thakur at Siddha Bakul and expressed his anxiety for the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. My dear Thakur Haridas, in this age of Kali, most people are bereft of Vedic culture, and therefore they are called Yavanas. They are concerned only with killing cows and Brahmanical culture. In this way, they all engage in sinful acts. How will these Yavanas be delivered? To my great unhappiness, I do not see any way. Srila Prabhupada explains in the above verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that the term Yavana does not refer to a particular group, but rather to those persons who are violent killers of cows and Brahmanical culture. Sometimes the term Yavana is used to refer to the 15th century Turkish invaders whose conquering of India was foretold in the Vedic literature. The predicted conquest actually took place. However, Lord Chaitanya was universally concerned for all such persons who were cow killers and destroyers of Brahmanical culture, since by such activities they were creating a very inauspicious future for themselves. It is also significant that such persons are the majority of the populace in Kali Yuga. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was referring in this instance to cultural habits, not people or places. In general, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran were all vegetarian cultures in ancient times. Broadly, these people followed Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, Jainism, Vedic religion, Vaishnavism, and other religions that prohibited or discouraged meat eating. In contrast, part of Yavana culture was and is meat eating. Since the time of Alexander and even before, the meat eating cultures of the Yavanas gradually influenced and overtook the vegetarian culture. In response to these influences, Vaishnavas in general and followers of Mahaprabhu in particular strongly opposed meat eating, finding it abominable. Other cultural places of the Yavanas may be more or less acceptable, but meat eating is not a worthy act for a human being. When Haridasa Thakur heard this question, he immediately felt inspired to pacify the Lord. This is the nature of a confidential devotee of the Lord. He wants to relieve him of his anxiety for the suffering of the conditioned souls. This is the true nature of confidentiality, understanding the Lord's compassionate desire to help those souls who are caught in the meshes of the illusory energy and acting to relieve the anxiety of the Lord. Sometimes persons with a superficial theistic understanding imagine that confidential devotees are those who have so-called high realizations and spend their time delivering lengthy expositions on arcane and esoteric scriptural topics. Such persons and their followers often mistake jnana, book of theoretical knowledge, for vijnana, spiritual realization, and neglect making serious efforts to bring Krishna consciousness to those souls lost in the material world. In their hierarchy of concern, understanding high topics, personal spiritual enjoyment, and advancement come first. And relieving the Lord's anxiety to deliver conditioned souls follows as a distant second. Not understanding that their greed for realization can be best accomplished by putting the relief of the Lord's anxiety in the first position. The Lord is extremely anxious to bring bewildered souls back to the spiritual world, where they may achieve the happiness which they have sought for many lifetimes in the material world, where there are so many anxieties and miseries. Those devotees who dedicate themselves to relieving the anxiety of the Lord by practical service to the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are truly confidential associates of the Lord. Haridas Thakur began to explain how such yavanas can be delivered by Namabhas. Namabhas is an amazingly merciful arrangement of the Lord, allowing a person to benefit from chanting the holy name inadvertently, even though intending something else. Such chanting will still receives the credit delivered from offenseless chanting. Haridas Thakur gave the example of Muslims who use the expression of haram to indicate something abominable. Nevertheless, by such chanting, they receive the benefit of namabhas, which can deliver a conditioned soul. When a Vaishnava chants the same expression, haram, he is vibrating the name of Lord Ram. However, despite the intention, the vibration's effect and transcendental power is not destroyed. Okay, so I'll stop here. So far, what we read in the beginning is like two important points really strike out from this reading, right? So in the beginning, it is said that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was really kind of, was not feeling satisfied. He was having some anxiety. And then when Srila Haridas Thakur is approaching him, he's just saying that how can I deliver the fallen conditioned souls? Because all along we have seen, right? Even in the past, we saw the pastime where when he was chanting, it's like he was so deeply meditating with the gopi pastimes, and then where others were starting to chastise him and not really consider his level and his position, and they were causing offenses to Mahaprabhu. So at that time also he was so sensitive, and then he said, this, I came here to deliver everybody, and if they are going to commit offenses against me, they are not going to get delivered. So that's the reason Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So that was the reason we read it already in the past. And now here again, you can see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has so much mercy. He is constantly thinking about how could he deliver the fallen conditioned souls. And that was the reason. And then the explanation is given there about yavanas, right? Basically, it is about how destruction of having the meat eating, that is the thing. And secondly, destruction of the Brahmanical culture. Honestly speaking about it, I was just thinking that usually we tend to think that in US it is so common, right? Meat eating and everything else. But if you think about it, the culture, the way it is right now, I don't think there is any difference between India or even US, because all of the Vedic culture, what everybody used to follow, everything is kind of going in the side way. And the way modern culture, whatever West was having it and India copied it, or however it is, but all throughout the world right now, there is nothing, none of that, right? Even in India, we know that after, the cow killing was all banned, but still somehow people are trying to sneak in, and do some of the things and all that. So meat eating is a big deal, like really. And here that's why the emphasis is given, because if we are trying to follow the spiritual path and we are saying that we are believing so much in God, how could we justify killing any other living being, or even causing any hurt to any other animal species or anybody else? So this is the big emphasis here, right? About not having that vegetarian, like meat eating is a big no-no. So that is a big one. And then ruining all the Brahmanical culture, like really, there's like no value system right now, today's life. It is all about narcissistic society where everybody's so focused on themselves. What is in it for me? How could I be progressing? Or how could I be getting X, Y, and Z? That's really the new world is all about. So everything is ruined. So that was the other thing. And then Srila Haridas Thakur is coming and he's giving a solution where he's saying that the solution is really namabhas. Because in the beginning, everybody may not know really the focused chanting, the offenseless chanting, and that high level of Shuddhanam is not easily accessible. Even for me, I can tell like how many years I've been chanting now, but still that high quality chanting is not all the time. When definitely when we have senior devotees around, when we are really deep into the subject matter, or even after holy name retreat and stuff like that, yes, the quality does go higher up. But then with the day-to-day activities and things like that, everything, it tends to again kind of, affect the focus and attention when we are chanting. So Srila Haridas Thakur is suggesting that namabhas, even chanting the holy name knowingly, inadvertently, right? Example, like if we took the holy name to some festivals outside, like as I said, the other day we went to ASU and we chanted, there were hundreds of students. So they all may have heard it, but they all are hearing that. I just also want to say my daughter was visiting New York, and then she was visiting in the subway. And then she sent me a video of this Prabhuji, right? He's sitting alone by himself, but very nice voice. And he's chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And my daughter is, Mama, he's chanting, but nobody's even waiting to listen to him. How it is going to make any impact? I'm like, Arya, it's not like that. Just by passing, the holy name is already falling into their ears. So inadvertently, everybody is getting the holy name. Sitting in the subway in the middle, and that too, it's like gross, right? It's not even like clean place to sit down. But look at that devotee's mercy, the compassion. I was just thinking, and that is the compassion what is going to be pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants, that all of us, that we have received this mercy, now we have to take that and then spread it to the entire world. And it is clearly said here, it is not about all that esoteric topics and reading shastras and going to this high level of all that confidential knowledge and this and that and all that. If we are in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, the whole message to us is that take this holy name, take the Krishna consciousness movement. And that's the whole reason why even Srila Prabhupada came to US. I mean, he was in Vrindavan. He could have just stayed there and focused on the holy name. And like so many other Babajis, right? They are completely dedicated in Krishna's pastime and Vrindavan and all of that. But so we have such great example in front of us that our whole mission should be really first receive everything, develop ourselves, keep on working on ourselves, and parallelly try to spread the holy name with others. So with that, I'll